So now that you have opened your player controller, just delete everything from your player controller, and then we will be adding some private data field there. We'll start first by adding the private rigid body. I'll call it rigid body. This is we will use this one for physics simulation, and then I'll click another private. Call this one camera. It's gonna be camera. I'll create another one. I'll call it a private. This is going to be vector array. The type is going to be vector array. This is going to be our mouse position. So as I've explained, that I'm going to control my player using the mouse or the touch system of your mobile application. So it's going to be the mouse position. Create another one, private vector array, and then this one is gonna be I'll say the player position. I will be storing my player position right here, the player position, right? So okay, other thing that okay, spell the private there. Other thing that I need to know is the position of the camera along the Z direction, because we've changed it, right? So I'll need somehow to remember the position of our camera along the Z direction. So I'll just create some private then we say float camera along Z. I need that direction, so I would like to assign it from the inspector. So I'll just say serialize field, and then I also need to know the player position along the Y axis, right? Because I've changed it also. So I would like to know the direction of our player. So I'll do the same thing, serialize field. I'll assign it from the inspector. I'll say private float. I'll say player along the Y. I want to know the direction of the player along the Y. I don't know if you remember when okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I switch my layout from default, right, to 2x3, I switch my layout from default to 2x3. So if you remember, this is my player right there. So I have dragged it from its default position downward here along the Y axis. I also shifted my camera along the Z. Where is it? If you click set a camera, you can hover your mouse over the scene and click F, right? You see, this is my camera. I've changed it along the Z direction. You see, yeah, of course. You see, look at the shifting from this, which is our players are somewhere right there, and the camera is there. that is negative 45 along the y-axis. Also, if we check the player again, where's the player? I think I said the environment. Checking the player. Okay, I would also like to. Okay, I've shifted my player along downward, negative 12. Also, okay, let me switch this one to 0, right, so that we become consistent. So 0. Okay, and then my player. Where's my player? Maybe to something like okay, first of all, change from free aspect to full HD, right, so that we can get the clear picture of our game going to look, because this is our reference solution. Remember, from the canvas I made main canvas, and I set my reference resolution will be 1920 by 1080. So it's very important that I match my resolution with this one, so that I can get a clear picture how my game will look. Now, looking at the player, you see it is down. Maybe I can change this to something like negative 30. I don't know, negative 30 or 40. I think 13 is not fair. I can do something like negative 30, right? Okay, going back to our scripting. So that is the player position that I'm talking about. That's negative 30. Here, remember, in the inspector is negative 45, so I will write 45, right? I will be writing 45 right there. So you'll understand this when I'm coding the motion of this camera and mouse. Anyway, we'll have to initialize some values, right? We need to initialize some values. Remember, we do that on the start method because it is called when the game starts. So on the start method, it is called once created a start method there. I would like to initialize my rigid body. I will initialize my rigid body like this. So I will just say rigid body. I will get the component of the player, get the component. This will get the component on. Remember, I will be attaching this script to the player, so it will get the component of the player. But I want the component of this type rigid body, right? From this type rigid body. So also I would like to initialize my camera on the start. So I can do camera. This camera will be called to our main camera in the scene. So I can say camera dot main camera. This will be the active camera on our scene. This is the main camera, of course. With the main tag, you can check when you click the camera right there. It says the main camera, and the tag it is the main camera. So basically, yeah, that's what going on when you use this camera dot main. It selects the main camera with the main tag on it. Anyway, this operation can be expensive, right? So that's why I'm prefer doing it on the start method. And then I can set up 4 things, right? For example, right, I don't want to, when you play the game, you see the mouse. I don't want that. I want, when we control our player, I don't want to see the mouse right there, right? This, yes, the cursor. You see this cursor mouse? I don't want to see it when I'm controlling my player using the mouse. So the way you can do that is to switch off its visibility. So you can say cursor. When you do cursor dot visible, and then set it to false, right? Set it to false. It won't show up on while you're playing your game. So yes, there's things that you can do. Okay, I think I'm done initializing my values. So now remember, I will be controlling this ball using physics, right? So because I'm going to use physics, so I'll need to use the fixed update method to update our position of our player on every frame, right? So you can do that by doing something like private void, and then I'll need that fixed update method again right here, fixed update method, right? Okay, now that I have fixed update method, remember I'm controlling my ball using a mouse, right? So let's work on positioning the mouse on our screen, right? Mouse position, remember that component there, the mouse position. I need to manipulate this direction based on the mouse, right? So I can say mouse position with a vector. Remember, mouse position is equal to new, create a new instance for everything, create a new instance of the vector, meaning change it every frame, changing the position every frame, right? Now remember, this is a vector is, it has some more than 2 overloaded parameters on method of this vector array. So first of all, I would like to manipulate my position along the x-axis, right? How I'm going to do that, use this input system, right? I say input, where do I want to get the input, right? You can get it from the keyboard, from anywhere you want to get your input, but in this case, when I say dot, I want to use the mouse. I'm not going to use the buttons or everything or the accelerometer for now. I just need the mouse. Get mouse position. This one, I need the mouse position, right? Mouse position, but I don't need it along the x. I need it only along the x-axis. When I say x, I get the mouse position along the x-axis, right? How about y? I don't want any position along y. I don't want to manipulate. So I'll just along the y. I don't want to manipulate the position of the mouse along the y. So I will write 0. How about along the z-axis? Okay. Now the z-axis, I would like to use the camera z position. Remember that I've shifted my camera away from the real interface, right? That was negative 45, right? So right here, I must write 45, right, to cancel that distance, right? So for example, let me show you again. From here, this is our default position, like 000. So I've shifted my camera to that position right there by negative 45. So I want to cancel this position to 0. That's why I've created this variable right here, because you may change your settings on the inspector, so it's easy to just type 45 right there. So instead of typing 45, I'll just write camera z. This will be your camera along the z. Okay, this is your mouse position. Now we can get the mouse position. Let's talk about the other one, the player position. How are we going to position our player on the screen, right? So remember, still the vector, it's a vector array. So I can do the same concept, like new is equal to new vector array, right? This is the player position now, the player position. So how are we going to get this player position, right? Remember, I want to change my player position based on the screen, the mouse on the screen, right? There must be the mouse on the screen, and then I want to change my position, right, based on the mouse, the player position based on the mouse position on the screen, right? So we're gonna need some to use camera in order to do that, right? Because the camera, it renders the screen, right? It renders the screen. What you see in the screen is rendered by the camera. So we can use that concept, right? Okay, already I have a camera right here, camera. So now if I do something like I want to change my position along the x-axis, right? Based on what the mouse cursor on the screen. I hope it is clear. If I say camera dot, there's this method named screen to world point, right? It takes, okay, let me do this. Screen to world is a method, remember? Screen to world. You see, it says it create a new vector within the xy component. It sets z to 0, right? It just takes the point, the screen to the world point. It takes the screen to the world point, right? That's what I want, because my cursor is hovering, as you can see. Let me show you. My screen is just hovering across the screen right now, right? So I want to take the position of this mouse to a world so that I can manipulate the direction of my player right there. So but I want to change it along x-axis only, right? I don't need it along the y or the z direction. So I only need it along okay, let me do this. I only need it along the x-axis. So I'll pass the mouse position right there, the mouse position, right? I already have mouse position on top here, so I pass the mouse position, and then outside this method I say dot. I want only x component of it, x component, right? Okay, now here remember that I've shifted my player along the y axis, right? Along the y axis. So I need that position, right, so that I can align my player properly on the screen. So I will need that player, the y position of the player. Yes, there might be another way of getting these values, but I would like to do it on the inspector, because we can change the way your scene look as your project grows. So I'll just say player, but I don't want to change anything along the z direction. I don't change anything. Yes, so okay, that's it. So now you can easily say rigid body. Now I'm moving my player, rigid body using physics. So I say rigid body dot, there's this method, move position, because I'm using physics, right? Move position. If you have a mouse, it says it moves the kinematic region body. Okay, it moves the kinematic rigid body towards the position. That's what I want to do, right? I don't want to go deeper with that method. Just it moves position. It moves the position of the rigid body. Just know that. So it needs the vector, the position, which is the vector, right? That is the player position. Already we have calculated it on top there. We can just pass it in right here, right? So let's try to summarize 4 things, right? Here I'm getting the mouse position on the screen. Here I'm manipulating my player position using the mouse, as you can see right here on the screen, using the mouse on the screen, right? And then finally I'm changing the player position using the rigid body. So now, okay, we can save our script. And then we can go back to the unit. You can still importing my script. I will wait for a little bit. Okay, I think it's done. So now if I open my script right now, I'm going to test whether I can move display. You have to wait for a little while there. Apologies, my computer is very slow. Yeah, I'm using the laptop by the way, so it's kind of slow. I don't know why. Okay, so now you can select your player again and then drag and drop that player script to the player right there on the component. Okay, so as you can see, my script has been added. Remember, I want to change these values right there. Let me do this. So I want to change this component right there. I want to change the camera position to 45 because mine is for negative 45 right there. So I want to change it to 45. Right. Other thing I want to change is this one. It's the negative 13. So right there on the player Z, just write negative 13. Right. I think we're done. So now you can test your game. Let's test our game whether it's working. Okay, now you can see right here. If I drag my mouse to the left, it drags, and then I can drag my mouse to the right. Okay. Yeah, I know I still have some issues, like it can disappear on the screen. We'll fix that later on. But the important thing is that we can now drag our game object along the screen right there. So we have done with creating the player movement. So now I think I will focus on creating walls so that my okay. By the way, if you want to stop using exit this this player mode, for example, if I exit it, you see, I cannot do anything. You see? I cannot do anything. So you can press escape there, click it and press escape so that we can move. Anyway, I will be creating the walls so that my ball cannot go outside this scene. So yeah, thank you.